Psychotronic Squirt Gun. Psychotronic Squirt Gun.
Hey, you guys, it's Psychotronic Squirt Gun. And I haven't done this in like 4 months, something like that. But I normally read through my characters, where they're at, and then I release songs based on that. You know, the songs are, what I say is music first and then story underneath, you know. And so anyone who swings by and says hi to me, I really appreciate that. But before I do that, I'm gonna open up a package, man. I'm just gonna relax and open up a package here that I got from Worcester, New York, and I think it's a shirt, actually. You know, it might be from this group Rectangle Creek that I really like, and sure enough, it is, man. So this is cool. I've been listening to these guys. I also know them as Joseph Airport, you know. I've been listening to them for like 10 years or something. And I like a lot of their songs, you know, like Zooms Man. No calling the Zooms Man. Whoa. And I also got their, let me see which one is. Oh, this is their first release here. That was a gift given to me. And it's Carved Cones in Cotton Castle. And I've been slowly listening to this one. I missed it when it first came out, so I'm really happy about that. So thanks, you guys. Dan was nice enough to email me. I haven't met these guys yet, so and here we have Rectangle Creep. Plasm Fest, right? 2026. Plasm meaning blood, perhaps? I don't know. But this looks kind of big. The shirt might be a little too big. I don't know. I hope it's not. Well, it's extra large, so maybe it'll shrink. But yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Am I right? I kind of know these guys through like bunch of friends and stuff on Facebook. You know, we all like Guided by Voices, and I'm actually flying to Dayton, Ohio for the first time. I'm going to go to Heed Fest, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited about that. Me and my wife are going to go, so I won't go alone. But hey, Lady Braven, what's up? Thank you for joining me. You were here like 4 months ago when I did this, and you know, so without further ado, let me first talk about Isabella Kirkwood. Well, actually, let me do this. Yo, Game Quest, what's up, man? Thanks for saying hi. I really appreciate when people swing by and say hi. Dude, I'm scary. Thanks, Sherlock Holmes, man. I appreciate it. Investigating stuff. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna go here. I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to go to Psychotronic Squirt Gun. And right here is, you know, I'm not into being some big, you know, influencer on YouTube here, but this is where I tell my stories. Right now we're on Isabella Kirkwood. And here, let's go to videos here. And let me see how it looks like on here. That looks pretty good. And yeah, I normally have a music video here, which this is the primary thing. It's the music video. And like right here. And then I explain the story, which, you know, people could, you know, get into or not get into. It's not really a big deal. But yeah. And what we're going to, so I'm really excited about this. This is a freaking slow going process. And right now we're doing Isabella Kirkwood. And I'm going to start her story over. I'm only 2 songs into her story. And then I'm going to introduce a new character. But these are other characters, Kelly Harper and Polly Mathers and Daisy Ashcroft and Dr. Clarissa Kates and Eddie Clive. All these, I have artists that sketch for me too, so you never know where this stuff's going to go. And Chase Dagwood, you know. So nice. Are you from that area? I don't. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What's up, Game Quest? You already said, "Yo, what's up?" All right. So what I'm going to do now, as an introduction, I'm just going to go blow myself up here, and I'm going to talk about Isabella Kirkwood and my good friend Big B McFly, the comic book guy. We did a huge exchange of comic books, and these are going to be nice ones. I'm going to show, as I'm showing the songs, I got more stuff. But what I want to do is introduce. I got the original sketches here from Big B, and he's a good friend of mine that I've known for less than a year now. But the guy is just so kind. I went down to Oregon. I'm from Washington State, and I helped him organize some stuff, and we just hit it off naturally. But this is his rendition of the Cloud Pusher, which we're going to get into in just a second here. But I'm really excited about that, and that's where this is from here. This Cloud Pusher is actually from his sketch, but we just had it colorized and computerized and all that stuff. But now we're going to add to stage this, and we're actually gonna go to Bandcamp here, and we're gonna go to Psychotronic Squirt Gun, which is, so I release albums and EPs. I'm in the process of redoing my older stuff here, and it's taken me a long time. This is the first one. I got all of the first one done, so I'm going to release, I think, a vinyl for that. But here's Cloud Pusher, an EP that I'm slowly redoing these songs. And the first one is Cloud Pusher here. The Apple Cars is the brand new album I put out like a couple months ago that I'm really proud of. But here, although they're on different EPs and albums and stuff like that, you get a brief description of what she is, and then you click on here, and it goes to the next song, Wondrous Geometry, which is on this Cloud Pusher, right? And then you could read all this, and then you could go to her third chapter, which is Perhaps Prudence is Best. And you go to an entirely different album, and this is the third song. Although if you go to, Perhaps Prudence is Best right here, all the track listings are there, but they're not in order of the songs. So the songs are random on the albums. Man, I've been working on this for years, and I'm just really happy with it. I also shout out my friend Brian Funk here, because I use Ableton Live a lot, even though I use real instruments and I use my real voice and all the music I create. I do it on Ableton Live, and I use Brian Funk's packs here a lot of the time. So, but yeah, this is the third song. Allowing the Vapor to Coalesce is the fourth song. So it's, if you click on the songs themselves, you actually have the story. And here's the fifth song, Two Soaring Birds, which is still on Perhaps Prudence is Best, but this is the backside. And then why was she seeing it is on Loops of Redemption. So it's pretty cool. So we're gonna go through this stuff, and I'm gonna read from a notebook first. So thanks for hanging in there with me, and shout out to everyone who just swings by and says hi. I'll be on for about like an hour or something like that, And yeah, so the first one is Cloud Pusher, which is this character right here. And she could, she's a very introverted person, but people who's very, very likable. People really like her a lot, you know? And yeah, but she reads a lot. She's to herself a lot. And one day she decided to, you know, poke holes in the clouds like you sometimes hear about, you know? And she was very successful at it. So I'm going to read the first chapter of Isabella Kirkwood called The Cloud Pusher. Hold on a second. I'm streaming. All right. So here we go. So here it is, The Cloud Pusher, which I already released a couple of these songs already, but a free spirit gazing at the sky concentrates on poking holes through clouds, ends up being rather successful at it. So Isabella, to her surprise, right? To her surprise, after time, she begins to form empty contours with greater designs. So she's actually cloudscaping somehow. She's actually molding clouds. Oh, cloud pusher, what's the reason you do this? Oh, cloud pusher, how is it that you can do it? First, they started off as holes when she was first starting to do this cloud work, you know, but then decided to form some pets, her cats and dogs and butterflies, that she turned into an eye, a large red rose that slowly bloomed fully. And she was actually doing this. You know, she's on a hilltop away from people, you know, she can't really prove it. She was doing it. So, oh, cloud pusher, what's the reason you do this? Oh, cloud pusher, how is it that you can do it? And then one day she sees an image that she did not design. So she saw an image. Was this a random event that morphed her flower into a dragonfly? So she was creating shapes, and then suddenly one of the shapes morphed into some other figure without her participating in that. So that morphed her flower into a dragonfly that soared slowly into a dove. At first she was shocked, but then shrugged it off, as people tend to do. So, oh, cloud pusher, it's the reason you do this. Oh, cloud pusher, how is it that you can do it? So now we're gonna add this. And I somehow lost, no, I didn't. There we go. And we're going to go to Psychotronic Squirt Gun. We're going to go back to Cloud Pusher here. And we're going to play this. But I'm going to cheat because, hold on a second. I'm going to play this. A free spirit gazing at the sky concentrates on poking holes. But I'm actually going to play it over here because, you know, StreamYard doesn't really play other websites' audio very well. So we're going to do it. Free spirit gazing at the sky concentrates on poking holes through clouds, ends up being rather successful at it. To her surprise, after time, empty contours with greater designs. Oh, cloud Okay, it loops. So I did not want it to loop. So I got to unloop it. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is a lot of this stuff's still kind of new. Dude, Brian, what's up, man? Appreciate you swinging by, dude. This guy got me into Twisted Teens. I know inadvertently through your group, but dude, I might go see them live, man. Okay. August 31st in Olympia, but they still haven't released the details, man. They're freaking sold out in Seattle. So I could look into Portland, but man, I've been freaking busy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. Twisted Teens, dude. That's like my favorite new band right now. But yeah, so now we're gonna oops. Like I said, I'm still freaking learning this stuff. So okay, so Cloud Pusher is the number one song of Isabella Kirkwood. And we could read her stuff here. You know, like Isabella's story begins right here. Meet Isabella Kirkwood. She's kind of introverted yet likable for the most part. She does enjoy spending time alone, though. She feels she sometimes loses herself when she's with others, but she still likes others, though. You know what I'm saying? Also, she's slowly realizing there's a strange relationship between her and some clouds she's been staring at. They seem to be responding when she imagines poking holes in them. So that's the first one. We just heard the song. I decided to play it on Bandcamp instead. I mean, on StreamYard instead of Bandcamp because it won't. Anyway, so we're moving on to the second song, which is Wondrous Geometry. Okay. And we're going to play this soon. But first I want to read, you know what I'm saying? I want to read my freaking lyrics. And I also want to show that my friend Bigby McFly also sketched Wondrous Geometry. So here's this sketch, you know, and I'm freaking loving it. Who knows where this stuff could go, because we're both a lover of comic books, you know what I'm saying? And it's a medium that's very interesting. And he's actually my age too, you know? So this is Isabella Kirkwood. And do we have a gooner, or is he a friend? What's going on here? So we're gonna I'll show these two again later. I'm gonna stream for about an hour, but I'll recap those two. But we're gonna read the second story here, and it's called Wondrous Geometry. I already released the first two songs. The following 5 songs will be new if you haven't heard it before. But and yo, Keith, thanks for saying hi to my friend Kat. You know, she's Kat with a K. You know what I'm saying? So this one's Wondrous Geometry. Well, she asked herself, Isabella Kirkwood asked herself, hey, Kenneth, what's up, man? Thanks for swinging by saying hi, dude. I appreciate it. Okay. Well, Isabella asked herself questions about how she was able to do this. What are the limits? But first, it seemed obvious to look at water vapor, since that is what clouds are made of, which led her to a Japanese scientist of all things, a scientist that studied observation upon water molecules. And so she thought to go to that because she's kind of nerdy, you know? According to this scientist's work, water molecules transform when exposed to words, thoughts, and intentions, especially sound. Those molecules exposed to loving, benevolent, compassionate intentions created pleasing symmetrical formations. Wonderful crystalline patterns, while water exposed, so that, you know, created pleasing symmetrical formations, wondrous crystalline patterns. But water exposed to fearful, discordant intentions resulted in disconnected, disfigured, unpleasant formations. So when someone, this Japanese scientist had someone just like, I hate you kind of thing on these slides, and the under a microscope, the crystalline formations looked horrific, looked unpleasant, that type of stuff. Hey, what's up, Bruce? Thanks for saying hi, dude, man. Appreciate it. Kingdom of Nerds, everyone. He's my friend. Yeah, so wonderful. Okay, so wonderful crystalline patterns, while water exposed to discordant intentions resulted in disconnected, disfigured, unpleasant formations. This scientist had a Buddhist monk focus on this, to the result of wondrous geometry, right? Then she had the thought that everyone was primarily made of water, and this went far in explaining a lot, since clouds are made of water. So her studies here helped her acceptance of the cloud work she was doing, pushing clouds around with her mind, poking holes in them, and actually making figures appear. So we're gonna add this back to the stage. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do the total fake out. But first, I'm gonna read from here before I do the fake out. And so, of course, I'm shouting out Brian Funk. He taught me a lot, man, through his videos about Ableton Live. And I love his rectangle synth guitar. I love it. But the story so far, Isabella begins her research into her newfound abilities of pushing clouds around with her mind and creating new shapes for them as well. How on earth am I doing this? She asked herself. So she set off to do research on the effects of observation upon water molecules. And that's what this is. So I'm gonna push this here. It's going to be the total fake out, but then we're going to hear the song.
Well, she asked herself questions about how she was able to do this. Well, she asked herself questions about how she was able to do this. What are the limits? At first it seemed obvious to look at water vapor, since that is what clouds are made of, which led her to a Japanese scientist. Water molecules transform when exposed to words, thoughts and intentions, especially sound. These molecules exposed to loving, but never lived.
So I just got these from Big B McFly, who actually sketches my characters as well. I hung out with him all day yesterday, and it's so much fun hanging out with people that you relate to. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna move it on, and yeah, dude, thank you so much, man. That's from I play on the pad sometimes. I do the strumming, but I use Brian Funk's tones, dude, on that guitar that I told you about, man. So I think I read this. Yeah. So we're gonna go big here, and we're gonna go on to the next freaking song. And I have them all written down. I've been working on this stuff for freaking years, man. And I have the character's name on the other side, so I can always find him. So this is her third chapter, right? Called Prudence. Perhaps prudence is best. Perhaps prudence is best. That's what she's thinking, So creating wonderful patterns molecularly is one thing, right? In the sky. But moving the entirety is another. And at a distance is quite remarkable. She's thinking to herself, like it's almost like, pretty powerful if you could do this. But you're a loner, and if you show it to people, what are they gonna, what are they gonna say? She stared at it. She stared at one and punched a hole through it, then formed an arrow to fire through it. So she's doing this. Should she tell others about this, since she's, not sure how they would truly react to it, right? I mean, how would you react if someone showed you that they could do this? But she thought to herself, it seems like anyone can do this. So perhaps prudence is best. She certainly doesn't want to get into any trouble, right? Most people regard her as odd anyway, and ignore her when they first, not when they first meet her, because she's pretty good looking and she's very kind. But some people, they act really strange if you don't behave the way they want you to. But you all know about that out there. But as she looked up, letters drift and morphed together without her focus on it. Is this similar to what happened a while back in the first song? Suddenly a form takes shape without her intention behind it. Outside interference, and there were 3 of the letters that came together that held the word fam, or F-A-M. Later that day, she walked into a restaurant, and she bumped into an old cousin she hadn't seen in a while. So she made that connection. Like, and what is that a coincidence? What could this possibly mean? And was this merely a coincidence? And so we're going to bring it back here, people. We're going to add it to stage. And so we're going to, this last one was Wondrous Geometry. Now we're going to move on to the third song that I just read. We're going to click on that link, and it brings you to a different album. And this is the title track for this album here. And I'm going to do another fake out, but I'm going to read the story so far, I think. The story so far: Isabella becomes a little less startled by the outside interference in her cloud-pushing pursuits, and gradually becomes more intrigued by it. After all, nothing adverse happened to her after she made this discovery. She's highly intuitive and knows how to wait. So at first she was startled by it, of course, but when something brand new and bizarre happens in your life, yeah, you're startled by it. But if nothing happens bad to you, then you would adapt to that. So we're gonna play this here. Prudence, perhaps prudence is best. We're gonna do a little fake out.
Creating wonderful patterns molecularly is creating wonderful patterns molecularly is one thing, but actually moving the entirety is another, and at a distance it's quite remarkable. She stared at one and punched up, pulled through it and formed an arrow to fire through it. Should she tell others about this? So she's not sure how they would truly react, but it seems like anyone can do this. Perhaps prudence is best. She certainly doesn't want to get into any trouble. Most people regard her as odd anyway and ignore her. As she looked up, letters drift and morph together. Is this similar to what happened a while back? Outside interference, there were 3 of them. That held the word fam, F-A-M. I held the word fam, F-A-M. I held the word fam, F-A-M. Later that day, she walked to a restaurant. She bumped into an old cousin she hadn't seen in a while. What could this possibly mean? Was this merely a coincidence?
Cool. So that was the 3rd chapter. Perhaps prudence is best. And I've been showing comics that I just got yesterday from my artist friend who sketched Isabella Kirkwood. So it's very apropos that this all happened yesterday. And yeah, so let's go back to this over here. Oops. I'm still learning this stuff. And yeah, perhaps prudence is best. That's where she's at. And we got some Brian Funk solar pads that sound like the Juno. He actually samples the Juno in that. You know what's cool too is you could go back to the very first song here. I loop back, and then you could go to the second one. It's it's a lot of work, but I don't know. You know, it's something to do. I feel like I just feel good about doing all this stuff though. So here's, we're back to number 3. So now we're gonna go to allowing the vapor to coalesce, which is also on the perhaps prudence is best album. But before I do that, I'm going to actually read the lyrics again. So this is kind of looping. You know, I like to loop. Come on, loop. So here's Isabella Kirkwood. And I always have to find the next song, but I put the characters' names. Good, I'm not muted. It's a little tricky working with StreamYard sometimes, you know. Here we go. Allowing the vapor to coalesce. Okay. She opened her eyes. What on earth was that about? So when she went back to the hill where she does her cloud work, and she saw Fam, and she was contemplating what the heck was that about. Then suddenly similar cloud patterns appeared in the sky. A weird spiral, not swirling as fast as the vision, but nonetheless was there. And so she starts seeing a vision in the sky through the cloud work with what she saw was two birds, with two birds gliding towards it, towards the spiraling. There was like a vortex or something that she was starting to see, and these two soaring birds were headed towards it. Then she watched the birds collide, then carefully formed a heart. Was it her imagination? You know, because, you know, this is over time, you know, so her acceptance level is getting there because she actually studied that Japanese scientist there. When she spotted the tinges of blue in the clouds, it was a momentary flash. She never knew to try a color before. So now she saw color in the clouds that wasn't there before. And if she darkened that color, or if she just darkened the cloud, what would that mean? She thought to herself, you know? What would mean was that the clouds would condense, and technically she would be creating water. If she did that, and then like, wait a minute, she thought to herself, this communication reached a new level because the new formations in the sky guided her thought process along, because she contemplates for herself. And so it was a strange roundabout way of communication. And that's what it, you know, it really occurred to her. This communication reached a new level. Is this how it or they do it? Whatever is loosely communicating with her. Focusing on a shadow first, then allowing the vapor to coalesce. She paused and focused on a question mark. Hey, what's up, Tim? What's up, man? Thanks for swinging by and saying hi, dude. I'm on the 4th chapter already. It's called Allowing the Vapor to Coalesce, and I'm going to slowly release these as singles when I can get to it. But I finally have it mastered. I have these songs mastered. So now what we're going to do, thank you so much for being here, dude. Thanks for swinging by and saying hi. So we're going to add that back to stage. And so we're going to actually listen to this. Now it's going to be the total fake out because YardStream doesn't do audio well all the time with other websites, but I'm going to read first. So once again, I use Brian Funk Ableton packs. They're just, his tones are really good. His sampling's really good. And, you know, I create the music, but, you know, he does these presets that are awesome. So the story so far, Isabella is truly gifted but even she's having a hard time believing the conclusions she's arrived at. If the mind can poke holes into clouds, what does that really mean? And how far can one take this concept? And it doesn't even get into all the reveals of this in the lyrics. And so now we're going to listen to this, but you're not going to hear it because it's a fake out.
She opened her eyes. She opened her eyes. What on earth was that about? And suddenly similar cloud patterns appear in the sky. Weird spiral lines swirling as fast as the vision, but there nonetheless. With two birds gliding towards it, she watched them collide and collectively formed a heart. Was it her imagination when she spotted the tinges of blue? It was a momentary flash she never knew. A tricolor before it, what if she darkened them? What would that mean? The clouds would condense. Technically, she would be creating water if she did that. Wait a minute. She thought to herself, this communication reached a new level. Is this how it or they do it? Focusing on a shadow first, and allowing the vapor to coalesce. She paused and focused on a question mark.
Yeah, so I had such a good time with Bigby, McFly, and I got all these awesome comics because I love older Marvel comics, you know what I'm saying? And he sketched me these characters. For those of you who have been here, you've seen this, but new people coming in, they don't necessarily know, but this is so freaking cool, and it's what I used for this here, this right here is what I use for that. Oh, this is Callie, but this is her right here. Isn't that cool? So thank you, Big B. Really appreciate that. And so we got allowing the vapor to coalesce, which is this right here, which is, I think, the fourth song. And now we're going to go to, thank you so much, man. Bunny Lohop, man. Keith, thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I'm excited because we're going to keep working together, those sketches, if that's what you mean, Cool, man. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, so we're gonna go to Two Soaring Birds next. And so I have it set up here, that, you know, you can loop back to the beginning to Cloud Pusher, all the way to the first one that we talked about earlier, or you could just move on to Two Soaring Birds, which is also on the Perhaps Prudence is Best. This is just the backside of the album, and so we'll read that soon. But first, I want to read the actual lyrics. So it's called the Loop de Loop. You know, I'm looping. So this is the fifth song called Two Soaring Birds. And I've been working on all this stuff for years, and it's slowly coming together. But here we go. She believes in herself, even to the dislike of others, right? And she knows this is a strength, not a weakness. She also knew not to draw attention to herself because of all this cloudscaping, you know, and all these revelations that there's some other beings or being that could do what she's doing. The longer she focused without an interrupting thought based on the past, right? So the longer she focused without having that interruption, because when we think it's associative memory, we're always thinking about the past, or it's connected to an idea about the past. But when she put that aside and she just focused, right? The more refined her image in the sky was. So the better her focus, the better the cloud shapes, the cloud formations became. She was getting really good at this, a little too good. And maybe since it seemed like something else with seemingly equal abilities was trying to communicate with her. So, like I just described, she knew to keep her mouth shut because they'll lock you up if you talk this way. Even if you could demonstrate it, I don't think society would actually believe it. And especially in modern civilization, if you demonstrate it, sure, around people, they'd be wowed by it. But if you try doing it online, they would think it's AI generated or something, you know? So there's like a double sword there. And so how did it know about the family member that we talked about prior, in the prior chapters, where the clouds formed the word fam, F-A-M, and then she bumped into an old cousin after that. She laid back and closed her eyes, focusing. It did make her a little drowsy. As she relaxed, she cleared her mind and saw two birds soaring. Seeing it again, you know, they were soaring through the sky. The image had lower resolution and was shadowy. Okay, so instead of doing the cloud work, she closed her eyes and she started seeing the shadows of what she saw in the sky. Without the cloud work, she was just focusing with her eyes closed, and she saw the shadow of the same thing she saw in the sky. Then what seemed like a whirlpool above them increased its spin, and the two winged figures flew right into it and disappeared. So it wasn't like the cloud work where they came together and there was something spectacular to behold in the clouds, right? In her mind, when she saw the shadow work, the two birds soared together into the spiraling field within her mind. You know? So yeah, so that's Two Soaring Birds, and that's the fifth chapter. Now we're going to bring this back, and before I do the fake out, which is hit this and you don't hear it, but we'll play it seconds later. we're going to, and I'm also going to show comics that I got, you guys, just yesterday. They get better and better. Trust me. Okay, so the story so far. It appears Isabella can do more than push clouds around with her mind. Pretty weird, eh? I'm sure you heard about folks doing this, though. Am I right? Some like laying down on their backs on some grassy hill or something and poke holes through the clouds, right? You guys heard about that, right? But just in case you never heard of that, here it is. So, this is for people who are just like randomly clicking on this song and they get a brief description. And of course, you can go scroll through everything again. Here's the first one, Cloud Pusher. Here's the second one, Wondrous Geometry. Third. Fourth. And the fifth, Two Soaring Birds. So we're going to listen to this now. You're not going to hear it because I got it queued up.
She believes in herself, even to the dislike of others. She goes. She believes in herself, even to the dislike of others. She knows this is a strength, not a weakness. She also knew not to draw attention to herself. The longer she focused without uninterrupting, thought based on the past, the more her refined her image. In the sky she was getting good at this, a little too good, maybe since it seemed like something else. Communicate with her. How did it know about the family member? She relaxed back and closed her eyes, focusing. It didn't make her drowsy. As she relaxed, she cleared her mind and saw two birds soaring through the sky, the image had lower resolution was shadowy. And what seemed like oval pool above them increased its spin. And then the two winged figures disappear. Flew right into it.
Freaking love this comic, man. It's Jack Kirby, Galactus versus Thor. Freaking classic. My cat saying hi. Hold on a second. Don't do that again. All right. So, yeah, that was really cool. The fifth song was Two Soaring Birds, right? And now we're going to go to the sixth song of Isabella Kirkwood. And Thank you for those swinging by, saying hi, stuff like that. This is a real trip for me to do this, man. You guys get to see my progress as I'm creating new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Dude, thank you. Thanks, man. And thanks for listening, Brian. I look forward to meeting you, dude. Are you going to be at Heat Fest? You know, I've never been there before in Dayton. Are you going to go? Cool, man. I'm glad you like that song. So here is Why Was She Seeing It? This is a little more rocking. You know, we got rockers too. So we're going to remove that. We're going to add it back to stage. And here's Two Soaring Birds. And we're going to Why Was She Seeing It? Yeah, now we're in Loops of Redemption. You know, Loops of Redemption, man. And I really love this album, even though there's still some songs I got to fix on there. A lot of these early albums I'm fixing, but once they're fixed, I'm going to be really happy about that. So, no, you haven't been there either, huh? Yeah, it's my first time. I've been a Guided by Voices fan, though, man, for like freaking over 20 years, well over 20 years, over 25 years. I just got, I don't know if you heard of Rectangle Creep, but these guys like Guided by Voices as well. I never met them. I just got this in the mail. I opened it earlier, and I got their shirt, Plasm Fest. I think it's in some dude's garage, like Gary's garage. I don't know. I'm not, if it's a joke, I'm not in on it. You know, but I love those guys. Joseph Airport, all that good stuff, man. So we're going to remove that. We're going to remove that again. And we're going to read the 6th song here. Why was she seeing it? Isabella Kirkwood, why was she going through all this? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine someone going through all this stuff? Holy freak. So why was she seeing it? More images in her mind's eye. It's the shadow play that she's beholding within her own mind because she's learning how to clear her mind. And so she's seeing this shadow work that was once in the sky, but now is in her brain. So more images in her mind's eye. A story was emerging. What did it mean? Some type of epic struggle in which unpleasant lizard shapes expanded and multiplied. Then suddenly was pulled into a singularity. So suddenly she's within her mind's eye. This freaking scary situation showed up in which these lizard beings were multiplying and coming at her. But then a singularity showed up, and they all got like pulled into it. And then with pleasant bird-like shapes filling up the field instead of the lizards. The field then somehow bent back, and the unsavory forms returned. You know, so the field of vision somehow rippled and bent back, and then the freaking lizards were there again, the lizard beings. Yeah, dude, I've seen Guided by Voices a lot, my man. Yeah, they're my favorite. They're my favorite. You know, so only to be sucked back into that singularity point, those lizards. And they were disappearing. It was a battle. You know, it was a battle she deduced, but why was she seeing it? It was as if a beam of consciousness was directed at her. And she knew that this was important somehow. The struggle ended. It suddenly ended with alien-like reptilian hominids all over the place. And they were quiet and frozen as if waiting. She visualized the whirling column herself within her mind. She didn't like this. They were suddenly around her. So even though she was beholding this psychic message or imagery or whatever you want to call it, right? She decided to get in there and she created the singularity. She created a whirling column and sent them back to that singularity herself, then opened her eyes. So she like took control of that vision. It was so horrific for her, you know? So now we're going to listen. This one's a little more rocking, you know? All songs are written by me and it's a lot of fun. So here we go. Well, actually, we're going to do the fake out. But before we do the fake out, we're going to do the story so far. This is a continuation of Two Soaring Birds, describing a profound vision Isabella had, not only in her mind, but in the clouds as well. She had it in the clouds first, then in her own mind. Something apparently very powerful seemed to be communicating with her. Okay? Pretty cool, right? So we're going to hear that, but you're not going to hear anything. And then
more images in her mind's eye. A story was emerging. What? More images in her mind's eye. A story was emerging. What did it mean? Some type of epic struggle in which unpleasant lizard shapes expanded, multiplied. Then suddenly we're pulled into singularity with pleasant bird-like shapes filled up the field. Then they were somehow fed back, and the unsavory form returned. Only to be sucked back into that point. Disappearing, it was a battle. She deduced, but why was she seeing it? It was as if a beam of consciousness was directed at her, and she knew this was important somehow. The struggle ended with alien-like reptilian hominids. Quiet and frozen as if waiting. She visualized the whirling column and sent them back to that singularity. Herself then opened her
just got this John Romita original. Yeah, John Romita Sr. I just got this yesterday from Big B. I always sniff, dude. Sniff the old stuff, you know what I mean? But man, I freaking love this. I had a good day yesterday, man. And it's Big B McFly who did the character designs for me. We also trade comics and just have some laughs. He doesn't live that far from me. This is actually Callie and Polly, where they left off, but this is Isabella Kirkwood. Why was she seeing these images, you know? I mean, what the freak? So we're going to add that back to stage. Thanks for everyone who's just swinging by, saying hi, or even sticking around. Really appreciate it. And this is where my friends get to see how I slowly change, ever so slowly, get better. So that was Why Was She Seeing It on the album Loops of Redemption, which that was the first one that I made. I really kind of liked a lot, you know. That's not true, but this one stood out in my mind when I did it. And so the next one is Would Know Soon Enough. So this was the 6th song. Now we're going to the 7th song. Would Know Soon Enough, which is still on the Loops of Redemption album here. All the songs, they're not like in any particular order, just on how they, you know, because it's the music first and how they sound next to each other first. But so the storyline is scattered randomly throughout these albums. But we're going to read Would Know Soon Enough, you know. So we're going to do that. We're going to go here, and we're going to look for the last Isabella Kirkwood song, Would Know. She will know soon enough what the freak is going on. And then we're going to introduce a new character, maybe 2 or 3 songs. Then I got to get out of here and be on my friend Matthew's show and get the place ready. I got to pick up my wife tomorrow from the airport. All this stuff. Been running around like a madman. But here's the 7th song, Would Know Soon Enough. Isabella returned to the question mark, right? That because that was how she decided to have an intent to communicate back to this elusive intelligence that has this roundabout way of communicating. You know, it's like, why can't you just communicate directly? You know, but there's a purpose for it, and you'll find out what the purpose is later on. But here we go. So Would Know Soon Enough. She returned to the question mark, elected to spend time with it. Although in a way, when she entered this state of mind, it was as if there wasn't any time. So she was learning to focus without, like I said earlier, the associative memory of what we're always thinking about something, past related concepts from the past, people from the past. And this type of focus requires none of that. You're just present. And later that evening, as she drifted off to sleep, so this is quite some time later, she began to dream as a smiling being was telling her what to focus on. So she was in like this state where she was drifting off into dream states. And to read up on some science to understand that she has an observer in her, which is wonderful. And she didn't really know what the freak this thing was talking about. Observer, what? In her hazy dream state, she did remember to ask about the communication via clouds, and if this being knew about it, you know. So she was still in a dream state, you know, and you're not exactly rational, so you don't necessarily suspect right away that the being who's interacting with you is actually responsible for the cloud work. She was still in a dream state. So, you know, in the communication via clouds, if this being knew about it and he smiled and told her if she focused on the candle flame or a candle flame without another thought interrupting her, she would know soon enough, right? What this is all about. And he also added, remember, it's your life, and only you can decide what to do with it. And then she asked, who are you? And he replied, a teacher. I could be yours if you wish. I could be your teacher, but you need to do some work and take responsibility for your life. And then she woke up, and that's the last chapter of Isabella. We're not going to come back to her probably till next year, but she's the cloud pusher, and that's the cliffhanger, if you want to call it that, for anyone who's interested. So we're going to add this to stage, and this is Would Know Soon Enough. Of course, we're going to do the loop-de-loop. We're going to read here. The loops of redemption. That's what's going on here, right? The loops of redemption. The story so far. After her intense vision, she falls asleep and has an intense dream. In this intense dream, she meets for the first time a mysterious character who seems to want to help her. And that's all that's described here. So I'm going to do the fake out. We're going to push this play here.
She returned to the question mark, elected to spend time with it. Oh. She returned to the question mark, elected to spend time with it. Although in a way when she entered the state, it was as if there wasn't any time. Later that evening, as she drifted off to sleep, she began to dream as a smiling being, telling her what to focus on, and to read up on some science to understand. She has an observer in her, which is wonderful. In her hazy dream state, she did remember to ask about the communication via clouds if this being knew about it. He smiled and told her if she focused on the candle flame without another thought interrupting, she would know soon enough what this was all about. Remember, it's your life, he said, and only you can decide what to do with it. Who are you, she asked. A teacher, I can be yours if you wish, but you need to do some work and take responsibility for your life.
So my cat kept freaking bothering me in that freaking song when I was recording it, so I decided to keep it, But this is Steranko. Steranko. I don't know if you guys heard of him as an artist, but real psychedelic stuff from the 60s. Really awesome work here. So thank you, Big B McFly. Big B McFly. You know who he is by now. For those of you who don't, he's actually sketching my characters. So we just did 7 chapters. Can you believe it? Isabella Kirkwood. I'm going to get more sketches from him. I'm excited about that. And now we're going to move on to a brand new character. Can you believe it? A brand new freaking character. So let's do this. Let's go there. And we're going to go to Psychotronic Squirt Gun. And the new character is on the best part yet. So first this came out, then this, and then this came out. The best part yet. Now, these songs I'm going to share are not mastered yet, and the masterer needs to work on them. My friend Matt, but This is Ripley Kates, who is Clarissa Kates, Dr. Clarissa Kates, who I introduced last year. It's her brother. And he's ex-Delta Force, you know? So we're going to go here, we're going to go here, and we're going to remove this. And I'm going to find Ripley Kates, right? We're going to find Ripley Kates. We'll be here. You never know where it's going to be. I got to start from the beginning. I should have, actually, while I was listening to the music, I should have found that place. So my bad. But thanks anyway for swinging by, you know? This is all impromptu live, people. You know? You can only do so much preparation, and then you forget, or I forget. Clarissa Kates. Ripley Kates. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so his sister's notion. Right? I've been working on this for years. Now, Ripley Kates, ex-Delta Force, he's a little jaded. He's a little jaded at the military. He's done things he's not necessarily proud of, and he was very idealistic in the beginning until he had to do these things, and he saw the outcome, and he started questioning things for himself. You know, so the first song's His Sister's Notion. He's an investigator. He checks out things for himself. He understands due diligence. Understands stories are essentially spin. He found this out once he left the department, okay, which was, we'll call it the department. He's proud of his military service. It helped him. He needed that discipline when he was younger, but now he has an itch to investigate for himself. And that's why he's a PI. So he's a private investigator, ex-military guy, jaded on what he had to do as a military guy, you know, because it's no joke, man. They do freaking incredible things for us, the military. Okay, so now he starts thinking about his other sister. So we have Dr. Clarissa Kates, who's a scientist. Then we have Celia Kates, who is more of a new ager, you know, and is more idealistic and has all these weird thoughts. And Celia irritates both Ripley and Clarissa. It's amazing what his new age sister thinks, what she's willing to believe without doing the work, and to arrive at such conclusions. You know, faith is one thing. This is all, he's got this monologue in his head. Faith is one thing, but belief is another. Belief and disbelief are pretty much the same thing. They both prevent one from looking into matters for themselves. Like his sister's notion of a corporation masquerading as a sovereign nation, right? You know, these conspiracy theories. That one being, you know, oh my God, the government's just a corporation and it's no longer the the republic. Well, his sister's into that, and he's irritated by that, and he wants to correct her, you know? So now we're going to go to the first song of Ripley Kates. Check it, people. There he is in the corner there. Uh-oh. Let me remove that. There he is. Ripley Kates. He's right next to Isabella, you know? Thanks for joining me in this adventure. All right, so before I fake you guys out with the push play button, we'll listen to the song seconds later. Check it. Meet Ripley Kates. Below is a fairly decent description of him. His story continues and correct his naive sister, Celia. But I don't put Celia there, but man, he's freaking irritated with his sister. You know what I mean? Tired of freaking hearing her bullshit. All right, so here we're going to do this, but you won't hear anything for the first few seconds.
He's an investigator. He checks out things for himself. He understands due diligence. He's an investigator. He checks out things for himself. He understands due diligence. Understands stories are essentially spent. He found this out once he left the department. He's proud of his military service. It helped him. He needed that discipline when he was younger, but now he has an itch to investigate for himself. That's why he's a PI. It's amazing what his new age sister thinks, what she's willing to believe without doing the work to arrive at such conclusions. Faith is one thing, but belief is another. Belief and disbelief are pretty much the same thing. They both prevent one from looking into matters for themselves. Like the sister's notion of a corporation masquerading as a sovereign nation.
All right, yeah. So this has been a great show. I got 2 more songs to do. I've been showing stuff that Big B McFly got me yesterday, man, and it's freaking fun. He's also Dylan. Just so you know, he's been sketching my characters. Dylan's another friend that I met here. Dylan, I got all of this. First off, I gotta freaking do this. I gotta say, Dylan, you son of a. You know what I'm gonna say, man, because I got to. I got to do this. Here we go. If I could freaking find it. Nope, this ain't.
Your goal here? To get everybody to hate you? Because it's working.
That wasn't the one I was going to show Dylan. I don't know if I freaking deleted it or what. Man.
Who the hell is interrupting my kung fu?
These are all compliments of my friend. Dude, where the freak did this one go? Now I'm freaking. Listen to this, man. Now, here it is. This is for Dylan, my man Dylan, who's taking these older comics. I'm going to be working with him, and he knows how to restore or preserve is the better word, or whatever it is. He's the expert. But this is Dylan.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
Yeah. What's up, Dylan? Hey, Don Carter, what's up? Thank you for saying hi. Conservation work. Yes, conservation work. But yeah, I feel real good about what we're doing. And so I just, now I'm on to the second chapter. It's called Correct His Naive Sister. All right? Because he's ex-military. He's a private investigator. He's got this freaking sister named Celia, who's a new ager, and he's tired of her not doing her due diligence, checking things out, you know? So this is what this second chapter is about, this song here. So I'm gonna read it here. Correct His Naive Sister. What an outrageous concept. How can that be true? There's too many people in the world, too many smart ones to allow such a travesty to exist. And yet, Ripley is aware of that thought being disbelief. And therefore, he would be remiss not to look into it for himself. So he can correct his naive sister, right? Because that's what he's going to freaking do. But suddenly the phone rings. It's Durrell. This guy Durrell, his closest friend, who's always trying to hire him, because he's his former CO, commanding officer. He's really he's disillusioned with what he had to do in the military, because civilians don't really understand, and he's still weighing things up, but he's Delta Force, a commander too. So he's always trying to hire him, Durrell. And Durrell says there's few good people to rely on. There's few good people to rely on, you see. And Ripley remembers him saying. So he answers the phone. He says, "Well, what's going on, old friend?" And Durrell says, "Listen up, Rip. There's some matters going down that you should be briefed on." But Ripley wants to correct his naive sister. See, he wants to really do the research and correct his naive sister. He doesn't have, and he's kind of done with the military because of the things he's done in the past. Because now's the time to correct his naive sister. Ripley told Durrell that he was out, right? Ripley Kates is out. And that's the way he wished to stay. You can't turn your back on this one, old friend. I need you in my office at 0800. This one cuts a little too close to our country. Trust me. There's no time to correct your naive sister. But he wants to correct his naive sister, okay? So we're gonna go to the second chapter here of Commander Ripley Kates. See, did you guys see him? Oh, there he is, right there in the corner there. Let's add that to stage. And let's put me in the corner. I'm so deft at this. All right, so I'm on Bandcamp, and you go to Psychotronic Squirt Gun, and there's all these albums, and none of the songs connect to each other in a linear story way. They're just albums with music, so it's music first. But if you go and you click on the album, and then you click on the song, like the first one I showed, His Sister's Notion, then you get a description here, and you're supposed to have another link. But the reason why I don't have a link is because I need to get these songs mastered. So we're going to go to the second song, Correct His Naive Sister, which is on the best part yet. I forgot about that. This is all impromptu, you guys. And now I'm going to read from this. Here is Ripley Kates. Here's Ripley Kates introduced in His Sister's Notion. He still thinks about his sister, Celia, and what she recently said to him. He doesn't like it. Doesn't like conspiratorial thinking, since he knows a lot more about the world than most. He really doesn't like what he perceives to be a lack of critical thinking in her. So Ripley's talk with Durrell continues in an existential threat rip from the perhaps Prudence's best release. Well, we're gonna do that as the last one. I'm gonna do the fake out here, which I'm gonna press this.
What an outrageous concept. How could that be true? What an outrageous concept. How can that be true? There's too many people in the world. Too many smart ones to allow such a travesty to exist. And yet he's aware of that thought being disbelieved. Therefore would be remiss not to look into it for himself. So he can't correct his naive sister. The phone rings, it's Durrell, his closest friend, who's always trying to hire him. There's few good people to rely on. You see, apparently he remembers him saying, well, what's going on, old friend? Listen up, Rip, there's some matters going down that you should be briefed on. But he wants to correct his naive sister. Now's the time to correct his naive sister. Told him he was out, and that's the way he wished to stay. You can't turn your back on this one. Old friend, I need you in my office at 0800. This one cuts a little too close to our country, trust me. There's no time to correct your naive sister, but he wants to correct his naive sister.
Cool. So yeah, I should have went to the next one, but all these comics I just got yesterday, so I wanted to share them. I did this big freaking trade with this artist, Big B McFly, who is actually sketching my characters, and I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy about that. So okay, so I've been working on this for freaking years, and I always create new music, but right now I'm going back and fixing the old stuff so that the songs will matter more to me, at least, you know. But I'm going to the next song, Ripley Kates, which is happening soon. The very last song. And I also want to say that Big B McFly, he did an A-OK. So I'm going to probably go through. I'm going to probably do another stream, just going over the comics that I got yesterday from him. But I got an A-OK. Now, I'll show you the A-OK I got from him. But the next and last song that I'll show today is called Existential Threat Rip. And this is it's more of a rocking song. I'm going to read it right now. So existential threat, rip, as in Ripley, right? So this is Darrell talking to Ripley. This is the next song, the third chapter. Could be an existential threat, Rip. I need the right team on this. The ones I could really trust to get the job done. He told him before he had time to ask, why me? Like, Ripley didn't even have time to say, why me? And so this is, now he's stepping into his office. This was like on the phone, but now he's going face to face to him. So no sooner than stepping into the office with a smile, he heard that from his former CO, his former commanding officer, Darrell, right? And Darrell says, I've been monitoring a situation for a long time now. It's a domestic threat with part of the local law enforcement compromised by blackmail and dirty money. We need to keep this one with few eyes and ears, since legally it's out of our jurisdiction. And, Rip's like, what? Because he's done. He's in the private sector. He's a PI and he's done. But he loves his friend, Darrell. But he says to him, you're speaking as if I already agreed to this, sir. I have extreme reservations about being used. Who wouldn't? And a lot of these guys who are military, they do incredible things. But Ripley was cut off before he could finish. And Darrell says, it's more than just one area. It's an infestation. And this is just the beginning. So, yeah, Tat! What up, Tat? We're on the final song here, Tat. Tat likes a lot of this stuff, too. I really appreciate you, Tat. Yeah. Oh, it's okay, my man. I want to get Tat on the drums someday, He's a drummer. He's a freaking drummer. We're going to add this to, we're going to go do the last song here. And so it's Existential Threat from this release. I normally have the link, but they're not mastered yet. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go to Existential Threat because I know where the stuff is. And I'm going to read a little bit, push this button, give you the fake out, hear the last song, and then I'll say goodbye to you guys. And I really want to thank you guys for saying hi to me, coming in when you can, and all that good stuff. This tune is about Ripley Kates, and we last left him in Correct His Naive Sister from the Best Part Yet release. Ripley had some run-ins in his past. He's not quite sure if he blindly trusts authority anymore. But he still respects and loves his former commanding officer, Darrell. This sometimes happens when people survive war zones together, right? So they've been through a lot together. So here we go, man. We're going to end on a little rocker. I'm going to click that fake effect out.
Could be an existential threat, Rip. I need the right team on this. Could be an existential threat, Rip. I need the right team on this. The ones I can really trust to get the job done. You stated before you had time to ask why smile. He heard that from his former CEO. Monitoring its situation for a long time now. It's a domestic threat with part of the local law enforcement, compromised by blackmail and dirty money. We need to keep this one with few eyes and ears, since legally it's out of our jurisdiction. If I already agreed to this, sir, I have extreme reservations about being used, but was cut off before he could finish it some more. And just this one area, it's an infestation, and this is just the beginning.
Okay, I think I'm going to end it here. Really appreciate you guys checking out my stuff. We're gonna go to YouTube here, I guess. I don't know. Let's just click out of this. Let's go here. And we're gonna go. I'm gonna sign off here, but I wanted to just let you guys know that I collect everything here at the Psychotronic Squirt Gun YouTube, where I slowly change this stuff. So it's a slow going process. We're actually beaming live from there right now. I have these playlists, and this Isabella Kirkwood right there. I got from this here, from my friend. You can also, we can switch the account. If you're into comic books, please check out my PSG Comics channel right here. Every Thursday, I drop a new video. I love doing this stuff, man. And you could get comics from me for 50 cents. But you could also check out my Monday show. You know, I have a Monday show as well. So, a live show that I don't beam into Facebook or that other one there. So that's it, you guys. Cool. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it's a lot of work putting this together and doing it impromptu. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, check out Big B. I'll do the shout out to Big B. I should have done that. I wasn't thinking. But he's actually illustrating my my characters, which is really cool, you know. So we'll share that really quick. I hope you guys have watched the Doom's freaking Day trailer coming up, man. It's freaking awesome. Big B McFly. So here's the Big B McFly, the comic book guy. You know, great guy. And we get along naturally. So I really like that. I think he did a shout out for me at one point here. But Yeah, here's something that's another character he drew for me, you know. So that's it. That's Big B McFly. He was here yesterday, and he sketched my characters and got comic books. I'm gonna do on the PSG comic side. I'll do a haul of all. I'm not even done. There was an AOK, incredible AOK. I haven't even showed it yet, so I think I'll save it for that. I really appreciate my friends being here. Until next time, right?
Psychotronic Squirt Gun. Psychotronic Squirt Gun.